Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Hope you're good. 5:30 in the morning. So, listen, let's get the bits out the way that we need to. If you are listening on podcast, please scroll down. Please leave a review. It would only take you a few seconds, but it helps the podcast go up. Tell somebody about it. Share the podcast. Get it out there. Share the link and get people listening, because I think it's beneficial. Also, if you're watching on this Facebook, please click share this video for me. So we are going to talk with transitions through your journey, and transitioning from civilian life to military life was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But going from military life to civilian life was almost a killer for me. It almost fucking finished me off. And I want to talk about your transitions through your life as you grow and as you develop, and making sure that you're fully ready. But before we do that, I just want to kind of review yesterday. So yesterday I was a keynote speaker up at the Now What seminar in Birmingham at Aston Villa Stadium, and it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely fucking brilliant. And I loved it. And I got to talk in front of just over 100 people. And I felt pretty calm about it all. I wrote all my script out, and then bang, I went straight into it. And I didn't use my script at all. I just kind of flew through it. I kind of just spoke from the heart and kind of just told my story as it was. And it was really interesting because there was a couple of areas that I haven't revisited for a very long time, or particular chapters that I kind of really went into depth with a little bit more. And it kind of choked me up. And I didn't expect it. A little frog come up. And I was like, I almost went into complete and utter blubber mode and start full on crying. But I just managed to hold it back. And just about kept control. And it was brilliant. I can't believe everyone stood up at the end. It was standing ovation at the end. I swore loads. I was like, I'm definitely not going to swear in this. Because it's my first one. I don't look like a swearer, and I just let loose. It's part of the passion, right? I'm sure it is. And it was brilliant, and all these people were talking to me afterwards, and just couldn't believe it. And I drove away, and I genuinely felt like I'd left something there. And I don't mean even hopefully in some form of value to everybody, but for myself personally, because I was almost reviewing my life about how I transitioned from when I very first joined the Marines, when I was a little scrope bag at 23, to my point now where I'm 40 next month. Fucking hell. And it was kind of almost about my transition, really, going through life, going through the ups and downs, and how we go through ups and downs in life. It's basically, it's fascinating to see how far you come in your life. And I wonder how many of you realise just how far you've come. I know that so many people in the Brotherhood that I work with are going through massive things, ups and downs, but a lot of them have gone so far. I watched a lot of the guys at the Now What seminar yesterday, and these guys were standing up and they only had just a minute or 90 seconds to talk about their life and how the Now What helps them and how they've achieved massively because of it. And it was really humbling to be a part of, and there were some massive stories in there, some massive success, and that was really humbling. So it was a great day, and then I drove down and watched my partner graduate for our animal physiotherapy. It was really nice. Went down there, met loads of people at the dinner, saw two of the worst comedians that I've ever fucking seen in my life. Just like mic drop, tumbleweed, and then the last guy brought it back, and he was brilliant. And then drove home. Got home at 1:30 this morning. It's now 5:30. I'm fucking wrecked. I've got one client this morning, picking up my boy and go back to bed, and then gonna get this on podcast and catch up on some sleep. So let's get into the main body of this podcast or this live feed. So I want you to think about the different stages that you go through in your life. Okay, so when we transition, it's very difficult. We have to be ready. The transition for me when I was just a civilian 23-year-old going through training to transition to become a Royal Marine Commando was super tough, because there was lots of stress, lots of overwhelm, lots of pushing my comfort zone, lots of being pushed to my limit. And that was because I had to be the very best version of me to be that Royal Marine. And I had to dig out blind mentally and physically to get there. And the transition was difficult. I used to cry an awful lot at the very start. And I used to cry when things got really tough. I bit on the phone down to my fucking mum and partner going, this is too tough, this is so hard, I don't know if I can do it. And that's where we then obviously have that support process, don't we? So you can do it, you can get through it, and bang, 32 weeks later, you're standing proud as fuck with a green lid on your head, super proud that you've passed out as a Royal Marine Commando. So that transition has happened. That transition from being that scrope bag 23-year-old who's fucking scrapping in town, drinking 2020, to then suddenly becoming this fucking steely-eyed commando has happened. That has happened. And for you guys, that's exactly what can happen. That is exactly what can happen. And before I move on to you guys, it's like about when I left the military and my transition from the military to civilian life was the whole different story. It's what triggered the lowest point in my life, the lowest chapter of my life where, I fucking was so selfish and so stubborn and such a prick that I lost my marriage. The person that I grew up with, I was an absolute cock, but I didn't realise it. And then we talked about the overwhelm of trying. Thanks, bro. And then the overwhelming change of circumstances and identity, going between a military life with identity to a civilian life with fuck all, with nothing at all. And that was really tough for me. And mentally, it all got too much and nearly fucking ended up taking out a couple of packets of paracetamol to end it all. But it didn't. And we managed to do the rebuild. And I want you to think about where you are right now. And you might not be in that great place mentally. So right now, the black cloud might be fucking completely clouding your brain, your thought, your vision, your emotions. And you might not think there's any way out. But I certainly can promise you that there is. And it just takes a little bit of courage and a little bit of movement and a little bit of optimism to move that way, right? And then you're going to go through pains, you're going to go through emotions, you're not going to want to do it. And this is what I see from a lot of guys. You take my guys in the Brotherhood, there's 100 guys in the Brotherhood right now. Every single one of them that joins is not joining fit and ready to go. Every one of them is going through something in their head right now. Every single one of them is fighting a battle. Every single one of them wants to move forward, be fitter in life. And yes, they want to lose a stone or they want to lose 2 stone. But you know what? That's primarily not the thing. And there was a girl yesterday and I was gutted not to see her. And she said, fix your inside before you fix your out. And I just fucking was like, wow. That is the one thing I took away from that whole day. Fix your inside before you fix your out. And I was just like, that was genius. It was fucking genius. But I couldn't stick around to tell her that. And so I messaged it to her. And that's what so many of the guys are doing in a Brotherhood, is because they are fixing themselves. We are building stability, structure, routine, habit. And all of those things come about. And all of those things we're building up in our state of mind. And all of those things we're developing. So we're going through transitions through life. So we're going through the hardship of what we're going through is from when we first start the Brotherhood to the first 2 weeks. That's when it's all good and rosy. I'm fucking here to change my life. I'm going to lose all that body fat. I'm going to commit to this program. You get to 2 weeks, you suddenly hit that fucking brick wall and you go, this is tough. Fuck, no one said it was going to be this tough. And then you start playing with yourself mentally whether you can do it or not. So you're going through your first transition. And you're struggling. And for so many people, what tends to happen is some people either fucking go sliding doors effect. Quit, go straight back to the way they live. Bang, push on through and continue their success and keep growing and keep developing and keep being open and keep driving. We have an accountability system in the Brotherhood on Monday, Wednesday and Friday where people hold themselves accountable. So what happens is that those guys have more self-awareness. We lack self-awareness. We have understand the journey. We're happy to open up and share. And this is all stuff I never got to do when I transitioned from military to civilian life. Okay? When I went from the military and I suddenly came into the civilian life and I was lying on my bed, I was fucking by myself, threw all my family away, I was pretty much about to lose my job, and I had no fucking money. And you know what? And I was, God, there was no one there. And that's why I created the Brotherhood, because we are a brotherhood. We pick each other up. The strongest pick up the guys who are not so strong. And then maybe 4 weeks later, those guys that have been picked up, maybe come back and pick up the guys that picked them up because something's happening. We're always picking each other up, and we've always got each other's back. We always look to the left and the right of us, and we pick those people up. Right now, the guys in there have accountability buddies. So they'll be checking in. Hey, why the fuck aren't you working out? What's happening? Is everything all right? Just somebody to drop a message and go, hey, are you right there, Clive? Are you right there, Steve? Are you right there, Paul? You right there, Johnny? How's it going? Bang. Fuck it, I'm struggling. Bang, let's go now. That's my job as well. But as the group grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, okay, I can only be the face like I'm being with you now when I do my live feeds, when we do our Sunday night coaching vision, and when we eventually get our Wednesday midweek check-in as well, when we do a little bit of coaching, a little bit of G'ing up, a little bit of focus work, a little bit bringing you back from maybe where you're triggered right now when you're not too good and in a good of a place, to getting you back focused. And we all need focus. Like I've got mentors. When I'm up there with the fairies, bring me back down. And the first guy was a guy called Ricky Knight, and he is my business partner now. And he just slowed me right down. I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want this, I want it all tomorrow. And he's just like, fucking James, like, calm down, you're going to have a heart attack. So that was transition. So, I go through phases and transitions through life. I've gone through transitions through business. And as I pointed out on my speech yesterday, I am where I want to be right now. Like, when it comes to my life, I have freedom. I do what I fucking want. Like, I work when I work. I have set out, set routine in the morning when I work. when I work. And I get to see my children. I pick up my children from school. I drop them off to school. I get to see my 17-month-old running around here causing us havoc. And that's what, for me, life is all about. And it's transitioning from that point where I want to be something amazing. I want to be this. I want to be the next Joe Wicks. I want to be... I used to have all of these thoughts going through my head, honestly. And then I just realised, no, I don't. No, I fucking don't want. Can you imagine all the added baggage that comes along with that type of vision and doing and having all that success? Whereas now I live on my own rules and my own freedom, and you can too. So when you transition through and you get to that point where you want to be, and you're passionate about life again, and you wake up with fulfillment, and you wake up with purpose and drive and fire in the belly, and it's just learning about what is your core, and then you transition, and then realising that you're going to change, and realise that you're going to leave people behind that are negative and fuckwits that you don't want anything to do with because they keep dragging you back. And then you go, I don't like this job, I want to do something different. Then you fuck off your job because you're in the right frame of mind and you're in control, and you're transitioning through that. And it's not going to be easy because you've got to build your business up, because you're going to follow your passion. Or it's not going to be easy finding that job that gives you a little bit more job satisfaction. And it makes you realise and appreciate and show more gratitude in life. And it came up on one of the speeches yesterday with Doris. I'm shit with names. It's this 86-year-old Wonder Woman who's just literally amazing. She blew my socks off with her positivity, and she talks about gratitude and being grateful for what you have. And understanding that through the transition of your journey, being grateful along the way. Like, I have a fucking roof over my head that I own. Well, I don't own. I own the bank money, but you know what I mean. I've got 3 amazing children. I have a wonderful partner. I have an amazing mother who brought me up. And I have great people around me. Great circle of friends. Great mentors. Great clients. Like, fucking hell. Honestly, how many people can say they got 100 clients they genuinely like? Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I'm going to see another great client who's a good friend of mine. We're going to do some training for an hour. And I just want you to think about that over the weekend. And I want you to think about the transitions you're going to go through and have to make to be successful. And it starts with the very basics. And the Brotherhood, we do a 7-day trial. If you want to join us, I'm sorry, ladies, it's only for dads. If you want to join us for a 7-day trial, just inbox me. We'll get you in. Don't need any fucking credit card details or anything. We just make sure that you're set up. If you message me early enough today, or we can get you set up before Monday. Get you in there and just see what it's like being around positive guys, other guys that are going through it mentally. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, my man. Who are going through it mentally, physically, and they're all transitioning and on a journey. And even if you didn't engage, at least see what it's about. It takes most of the guys 2 weeks to want to engage, because I'm not a Facebook guy, I'm not a tech guy, but you are a guy that's trying to open up, and you must open up in the group, and you must be more self-aware. And I understand that. So I'm going to finish this breakfast, I'm going to finish this tea, I'm going to go down and see my man Craig. I hope you have a good weekend. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to be back online till Monday, because I just need a fucking weekend to take in the whole week. I'm going to schedule some posts and value, but then we're back live to all the lives next week. This will be up on podcast by mid-morning. And if you haven't, go onto the website, buy the fucking book, It's a State of Mind. Okay, or go to Amazon, type in It's a State of Mind. It's like $7.99 on Kindle as well. And download the podcasts on the app, and it's under iTunes. It's only under iTunes at the minute. So I wish you well. Have a great day. If you need anything, drop me a message. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you soon.